In 1963, Paul was only 16 years old when he and a friend were accused of stabbing an elderly woman to death. The trial made headlines all over New York City, and Paul says he only pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty. After spending 9 years in a maximum security prison, Paul was granted an early release by a judge. But even though he's been a free man for over 4 decades, Paul is desperate to clear his name and prove that he was put in prison for a crime he did not commit. Take a look.
This thing still has me traumatized. It's been over 5.5 decades that this happened, but it still bothers me. I was 16 years old when I was charged with murder in the first degree. I was facing the electric chair for a killing I did not have anything to do with. It was 1963. I was at a party one night with my friend, and during the night, I went in the room and went to sleep. When I woke up in the morning, a lady had been murdered. Later in the day, they picked up my friend. They came back and asked for me. The lady was killed. She was stabbed 22 times with a knife and a screwdriver. My friend had already confessed to stabbing the lady with a knife. They said it was 2 people because of 2 instruments. They brought me in the room 4 o'clock in the morning and told my friend, "Tell him what you told us." He said I was with him. I broke out in a sweat. I was scared. I said, "What are you saying? You know I wasn't with you." He looked at me and said, "It's too late. They already know you were." They took us downstairs. The news media was there. They threw us on TV. You know, I was so upset, disillusioned. I didn't know what to do. I was 16. My parents weren't there or anything. I was horrified because here my friend had killed the elderly woman, white woman. This was 1963. When I walked into court, all I saw was elderly white people, and I didn't know what to do. I cried, everything. I kept pleading my innocence. Didn't work. My lawyers came. In the end, they kept telling me, "Well, we don't have a defense for you. You're facing the chair." So I ended up taking a plea. I was scared. I was scared to death, to tell the truth. I was sentenced to 20 to life, you know, and it was horrible. Fighting in jail. I seen somebody commit suicide, hung himself, race riots. When Martin Luther King was killed, everybody started beating up white people, and they would send you to the Bing, which was solitary. You'd be in there for weeks or however much time they kept you in there. Shower once a week. Then in 1971, the Attica riots happened. The inmates took over the prison. They held it for several days. The governor sent in the troops. 29 inmates were killed, shot down. You can still see the video. The guards were killed. Everybody was just massacred. It was truly a massacre. So they started shutting down the prisons. I had a friend there. He sent me a petition of a case that was similar to mine. I petitioned the court, and I had a hearing, and I compared notes. He was 16, I was 16. He got his diploma, I have my diploma. I said the only difference was he got 5 years, I got 20 to life. He was white, I was black. He killed, if I remember the case right. I didn't kill anybody. So after the hearing was over, the judge ended up giving me time served. And I had already done 9 years of my life gone. So when I came home, I met a woman, we had children, and now I have multiple grandchildren, and I have a big, beautiful family. And my family is my reason for being here today. I want them to know I'm a good man at heart, and I love them. My kids are great. They're all doing good. I'm happy with them, the way our lives turned out in the end. I just want to clear my name before I die. I'm older now. I don't know how much time I have left. I want my kids to know that their dad didn't kill anybody. Your dad's not a monster.
Paul, you were 16 years old when you went to prison. Tell me what happened.
Well, I was 16. I was at a party one night with my friend. I spent the night there, and I went in the room and went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, the police were all in the building and up and down the block because an elderly woman had been killed. But since the lady was killed, stabbed 22 times with 2 different instruments, a knife and a screwdriver, they said it had to be 2 people that did it. My friend was sitting there. He looked at me, he said, "You was with me." I looked at him, I said, "Are you joking? What do you mean I was with you?" He said, "It ain't no use. They know you was with me."
So you were saying when these Attica riots happened, it ended up helping you somehow, right?
Yes.
And how did that help you?
It helped me in a way that I had a friend who was in the Attica riot, and he sent me a petition, a court case that was relatively like mine's. And as I stated before, it was a kid who had killed.
Yeah.
And
Same age as you.
Same age. He was 16, I was 16.
The big difference was he was white.
He was white.
Black.
I was black. He got 5 years for the same crime that I was convicted of, and I had gotten 20 to life.
Right.
After the hearing I had, when I presented my case, my petition, and I showed the judge I didn't have to get 20 to life. I could have gotten 5 years for rehabilitation. He then vacated my sentence and gave me 5 years for
So when he vacates your sentence, you're still a felon, though.
Right.
You're still guilty of the crime.
Right. Yes.
So you get released, but you're still going through life as people looking at you as a murderer.
So the fact that my father pled guilty for murder, it raised a lot of questions. My father has never told me the full story. Today will be my first time hearing the story in detail. I knew bits and pieces. I never inquired too much. Growing up, my dad always stated that he was innocent, but you never know. I just have my father's, his word. That's what I'm going to go by, his word. But in the event that he did do it, yes, it would be mind-boggling. And it is something that I probably wouldn't be able to get over.
We asked you, did you participate in the murder of the woman that you pled guilty to? You answered no. Were you present at the time of that woman's murder? You answered no. Did you stab the woman you pled guilty to? You answered no. The results came back the same to each one of those 3 questions, and the result is that Paul told the truth.
Thank you.
No, you don't have to cry anymore. It's the last cry. It's the last cry.
I told the truth about the case I had. Now I can get that off my head. I thank you for always believing in me. And now you know Daddy's not a murderer.
I love you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that you had to go through what you had to go through over the years, but what I will tell you is the same thing that you always told me, is all of these trials and tribulations and all of the things that we face in life make us who we are today, and this just made you a wiser, stronger person. You're amazing. You are and always have been an amazing father, and we are ecstatic for you. I love you.
I love you too. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.